Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Elliott Wave report, and I want to start with the S&P 500 because most of the markets around the world in one way or another are following this particular count. The other counts around Asia that we'll look at may be a little bit skewed on this one, but this is basically the primary count for the globe. So in this case here, we're looking at wave 4 and we're looking at 5 waves to the downside. We do have 5 waves down into this first wave here, wave 1, and we're looking for an ABC back for wave 2 here, then down for 3, 4 and 5. So this is what you've got to kind of think about with Asia. Okay, so I'll just go to the 1 hour chart here, and we're looking at it like this here, with wave 4 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 ABC for 2, 3 ABC for 4, and down for 5 for 1, and then an A and a B and a C, pulling back up into this box here, the 61.8% retracement level. So this is the basic picture. So when we look at the Nikkei, the Nifty, Japan, India, Hong Kong and Australia, it's all pretty much the same here. Okay, there is some difficulty in Australia where we can only count 3 waves down here, because the wave 1 and 2 here, this wave 2 here has come up higher than this move up here, so it makes it a little bit tricky. So I'll just go and show you that, starting with the Australian market. So with the Australian market, this is a 1 hour chart. This high here is just a little spike above this one here. So I sort of scratched my head on the US. We've got this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then down 5. It makes quite a nice count. Yeah, it's not the case. We've got this little high here, and you know, do I count this down as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here? It doesn't even finish off very well down here. Or do I need to squash 5 waves in, which would be 1 and 2 and 3, an A and a B and a C here, and then I can get 5 waves out of here. It's truncated. So there's a there's a few discrepancies in amongst all of this for the Australian market. We can have a look at this in detail in a moment, but I'm thinking that, well, if the US is going to rally to its area, then we're going to be coming up to, well, this is the last consolidation here. Well, it's not the last, this is the last here. So technically, you know, it may only come into this space here and drop, because we're still 1 wave short. It could be 1 and 2 here and 3 here, an A and a B and a C and a D and an E here for wave 4, and then have wave 5 down here and get a bounce here. I know that's a little bit complicated, but that's possible. But if we see this market over the next 2 days actually push up to the 5-8 area here, and then into this mirroring this block here over here, then we know where we are and we can look to short in this space here. And the Australian banks will be much the same as well. Each Australian bank, the 4 major banks, have got slight different counts. Westpac has made new lows where CBA hasn't, and so on. So yeah, everybody's got it a little bit differently. But I think that if we kind of just keep this basic move here for this, then we'll be pretty much on track. So with that in mind, I'm just going to the 2 hour chart here. This would be the US count here. So down for 1, going back up for 2, and down for 3. So really we need, on our equity trades, we need a little bit of management here for this here. And yeah, anyway, we'll be able to update this for the Monday here as well. So you'll need to, you know, if you're short here, you'll probably need to have a little hedge in the market. You can trade another market or whatever. It's pretty easy to hedge these days, so just sort of lock things up a little bit until we've got this sorted out here. Of course, if we get, you know, if things go totally wrong and we get the arrival here, the reaction here, the first high above the level here, and then the ABC pattern here, well then these become our reference points for going long at that point. But we need to allow this to play out. I know it can be a bit nerve-wracking. That's why it's good if you're going to, if you're going to hold, if you think you're going to be holding through this on the short side or doing something, then you need to hedge yourself in this space here. It'll never be a perfect hedge, but at least you can accommodate most of the move. So on the tick chart here, this is how I've got it here a little bit differently here. So from here I can count it down as 1 and 2 and 3 and A. There's definitely in 3 waves here, so an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 4. And even though this one doesn't make a new low here, you can see we still get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves here. So I think that this is probably the correct count here for this market. And then this would leave us in line with the US going up here of 1 and 2 and 3, pulling back to 4, wave 4 here of 1 lesser degree, and then up for wave 5 at 5772 area here within group 2, and then an ABC pattern coming back, and then up again from there. I mean, it would be logical at first sight to look at this as the A wave and this is the B wave, and going up for the C wave here, coming to these old highs here and failing from here. So it will probably fail from here anyway, but there could be this other push up here. This is sort of what the US markets are telling me. So yeah, it's simple, but it's not that simple when you have to go and do it. But let's just look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here, some type of consolidation that can pull back to the 5730, which would be the 61.8% roughly, but it may not pull all that way back. You might just find 50 as a support with a spike at 40 and then pushing up from here. But remember, we want this whole pattern to mature and be up here in the 58 here, and of course the 61 point and the 50 and the 60 is higher, so we can be right up here. So yeah, make sure you've got yourselves hedged there a little bit. When we look at where are we now? So, well, okay, we'll get China out of the way. So no change in China. So from wave 3 here, we're looking for an A, B, C, D, and E wave here. So we're still looking for another push up into the 11,500 area here before we start shorting it here. So nothing really to do here, and I don't know if it's worth even going up there, but if you do, then that's where we're heading. That's the target. It may go a bit higher than that too, by the by, but anyway, that triangle's playing out, and Hong Kong's doing the same but different. So Hong Kong here has got wave 3 here, with wave A here, an A and a B and a C wave here, and now we're looking for 5 waves up here to the 38.2% retracement level. We can copy this here as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we'll be up for wave 3 coming into those old highs, some sort of reaction for that for wave 4, and then one more push up here for wave 5 of wave 4 here, and then we should see the market move down from that point. But we're not going to short it right on the top. We need to wait for the first 5 waves to come down, 3 waves back. That will give us our reference point, and then we can move down. So you could probably trade this up, because we can see that it's still got its own. At this point here, we're only halfway through this particular trend here, roughly. Okay, over to Japan and India, who've pretty much the same as well. So let's have a look at Japan first. So with Japan here, I've got this as wave 3 here, as you know, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and wave 4. So wave 4 could be in play here. We know that the US markets are going to make a new low. So even though I've got this as wave 4 here, this market can still basically do the same thing as the US is doing. So that would be moving up to this point here, and then moving down in 3, 4, and 5 here. Okay, and then I need to bring this over to here and treat this as a 5-wave structure from here to here, and have this here as such, and finishing there. That's probably the case, but I'm not sure. But let's just go in here on the intraday and have a look at a few tactics and things within here. So originally I've got this as wave 4 here, or even all this down here for wave 1. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave 2, and then moving down. So, but I mean, I've just got to, I know it's not very helpful, but yeah, so wave 1 here, wave 2 back to here, and then that would leave wave 3 coming up here, and 4 and 5, a more of a bullish pattern coming up in this case. But in this case here, we can also get an A wave here, a B wave over here, and then a C wave into this space, and then move down from there. So that's there are two counts here, 1 and 2. And I mean, they have to be eliminated. Some of them have to be eliminated, of course. And then the final one, if it was going to be with the US, it would just go to here, and then it would push down at this point. So this is what we need to look at. This is obviously, the last one's obviously going to be the closest one to us here. So in this instance here, we'd be looking for a move up into this space here, and then down from this space. So we'll be looking to short this, but because there's other counts here, we need to get the reference point below here, and then we can look to short it over here. But we need to allow this to play out here as well. And this could also be counted slightly differently as well. So we could also have this as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then all this squashed up wave 5 here within the 50-60% band, and then have an A and a B and a C here. I just really want this to play out here. I'm not even interested in going long here. Would go long here if we had the reference high here, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective move, and then up. So we would use these ones here on the long side. And I'm happy to do that, but we need to play this out with the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is telling me that we're going up a little bit, and then we're going to be heading down here. So we need to look at this as wave 1, some sort of ABC pattern in here for wave 2, and then we can look to short in this wave 3 here. The wave 3 will be longer and stronger than wave 1 if that's going to be the case. So it will all come down to setups in this space. It will become, as support, we'll be looking to go long. As resistance on this number, we'll be looking to go short. And India is slightly different, same but slightly different. So in the bigger picture, we've got the same thing as well, an expanded flat happening in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down to here. Once again, I may have this wrong here, and where I would have it wrong would be, well, if wave 4 is in here, then we look at this as wave 1, or wave A here, wave B, and wave C here, and wave 2, and we either go down from this way or we go up. But it's also possible to have this wave 3 sitting here with wave 4 sitting over here, because this is more like a B wave coming down. So an A and a B and a C wave here. I can't do that just yet, but so I just want to go in. I know that's all a bit confusing too, but I have to bring the American count into this too, because not that it has to follow it, but you know, we need it's probable. So this is the 4-hour chart here. We had a bit of a long trade going on here, so up for 1 and back for 2 here, and moving higher here. So I think in this case, what we're looking at is probably not wave. I mean, this wave 1 here, I better get this sorted out. This can be, I'm just looking for the setup here really. So I mean, it's nice when all the markets are running together in the world, you know, then it makes it easier. And generally, you know, they can do that. You know, some will lead and some will follow and some will lag and do other weird patterns, but they'll kind of still be in one way or another, they'll be in sync. So on the 1 hour chart here, last time we spoke, we were looking at this being 1 or A here and ABC for the B here, and we could get 5 waves up here. So we're looking for an ABC to come back into this box. So we've got a little spike here and so on. You may have gotten spiked out on here. You may have survived it. I'm not quite sure. We've got another long trade set up here. And with this here, I wonder if I should just ignore that spike. Where would that leave me? Still doesn't matter too much. So our target to the upside here is 11,000 here. I'll just put that in here for the time being anyway. So I'll just put that there. And we're looking for 5 waves up. So in this case, we've got 1 and 2 here, and we're looking for 3, 4, and 5. So if I can just pull them into a bit more, it'd be something like this. So I mean, I really don't like spikes, and this one here had moved, but the A wave had moved back here. So 1 ABC for 2, up for 1, back for 2. Anyway, we should see this push up here. You can go long here. You can leave a stop pretty close under this low here if you want, but we'll be heading something like this here. It will spend a bit of time. This is all group 2 here, and at the moment you can see that group 2 here is the resistance, 65, 72 and 80 in hundreds in this case, power of 10. But yeah, we should see a bit more consolidation in here, but we should also see it push higher. So that long trade is on the card, so that's all good. Okay, well that's it. So basically a rally for the next session. And generally markets, maybe even the next 2 sessions, and then we'll be looking to short across the globe. Cheers.